Flock Forster is quite possibly the most controversial figure in Attack on Titan. To some he's a hero, to others he's an evil man. And whatever your opinion is about him, I hope this video can work as a reference point to help understand him better as a person. Because I believe people spread a lot of misconceptions about him. I believe the main points people do not understand and use it against Flock is fascism, Erwin, and Flock's characterization itself. I will try to cover all of these points in a non-biased manner. And before the video starts, I just want to say this one line. In face of danger, humanity can lose the sense of justice, but the desire to keep living on will remain, and I think that embodies the essence of Flock's character. Before answering the question, is Flock a fascist, I want to explain what fascism even is and can we call Flock a fascist? So what are the main points to describe fascism? The first one is extreme nationalism, otherwise known as chauvinism. Chauvinism in very simple words means that everyone is inferior to one country, one man, and one ethnicity. In other words, fascism supports a belief that one race can be superior to another one. And now I would like to describe the second part of fascism, and that is a dictatorship. Dictatorship in this context means one party leader who is the main head of the political spectrum. He cannot be questioned. He is far right and absolute. Basically, it's a form of totalitarian regime going to extreme measures, where any opposition is erased from competition as the means to secure your place in the government. The ideals are the only ones that truly matter. So now, to put this into historical, practical example, let's look at the Nazi Germany who was a product of fascism. In June 30 of 1934, there was a slaughter called Night of the Long Knives. The purpose was to get rid of any political opponent against the Nazi regime and secure the total, absolute power in the country. Every person who dared to oppose this country back then was brutally murdered. Now, if I would make the same comparison to Attack on Titan, we would find an instance where the 104th soldiers were simply imprisoned. And that begs the question, why is this so? And I believe the main difference is ideology and the methods. Flock's actions combined with Eren's are actions they view necessary to defend Paradis from incoming invasion. Germany's actions in that context are done to only secure their power in the country. That's what sets them apart. That of course does not mean that Flock is a good person. In fact, quite the opposite. He's a bad person, he's a tyrant, a selfish person. Because he wasn't hesitant to show that he would kill any person he considers a traitor. But does that on its own make him a fascist? I think the answer is no. You see, from his perspective, he was killing people that were a threat to LDS security and well-being. Not because he holds an ideology viewing that other races or people are below his ego. Before killing the volunteer, he offered to join him, because it's not about his race or ideology. He thinks there's no shame in submitting if it means that person gets to live. And when he gets the answer no, that he will not submit, he sees it as a pointless pride and kills him. That makes Flock a messed up person, a tyrant, murderer, but not a fascist. Because a fascist would kill him only because of his ideology and ethnicity. That shows that Flock doesn't wish to kill people, but he sees no other way, and I think it's brilliantly described in the manga chapter 132. Spoilers for anime only people. When Flock is about to die, he says what was on his mind this whole time. Please, don't go. Everyone, the island will be killed, our devil is our only hope. This tells us that Flock is not killing people because he wishes so, or he finds it a fun thing to do. He simply does not find any other way, and he understands that this is wrong. Thus he calls Eren our devil. But he accepts this, he embraces that in order to achieve something, you shouldn't be afraid to dirty your hands. After all, as Armin said, a person who cannot sacrifice anything cannot change anything. And that's what Flock did. He sacrificed even his own life just to protect people he believed in. And that's why Flock is not a fascist. He may act cocky or be irresponsible like any other human, but he does not wish people death or he views himself above anyone else. He just lives the way he knows how, and that's it. He doesn't need false promises of peace. He needs the security right now and right here. But I cannot deny that the Jaegers faction isn't just like Flock. Not all of them think like him, some of them are genuine racist. They are indoctrinated and radicalized with propaganda. It does come from fear and a desire to live. But regardless of the intention, not everyone is like that. But that would be the same as the rest of the world, just being a racist. That on its own doesn't really prove fascism, just that chauvinism was part of every country back in the day, which makes the whole situation more complex. But I believe regardless of some people who would support fascist regimes, not all of them were just like that, because one common goal united all of different people, and that was securing the well-being of Paradise Island. And I think no matter how you look at it, it's something that cannot be argued over. So to end this part, I just want to say this. In the brink of extinction, when you see death upon you, you can't just act like an animal, the same way Eren did when he rescued Mikasa once. The action itself and people are bad, it's wrong. But the reason they act like this is because this world is messed up. People see no other choice but to submit or die trying to achieve something. And that's what kind of world Attack on Titan is. Kill or be killed. Both sides have good and bad people. No one is right or wrong. And that's why I can't see Floch as a fascist. Since Erwin has died, the community of Attack on Titan found itself in the discourse of who should replace Erwin. Some believed it's Armin, others believed in Hanji, and the last option was Floch. And I think no one can replace Erwin. What made him special was his own selfishness. Erwin did not embody Survey Corps. He was a good leader but not what he should be known for. Armin embodied Erwin's crazy way of thinking, coming up with plans that were dangerous but with huge payoff. Hanji simply understood Erwin's humanity and how he is in person with people. And then Floch embodies Erwin's courage and honesty. But all of this is just parts of Erwin. Each person chooses to understand Erwin in a different way. Ironically, I'd say Eren is more similar to Erwin than any of these characters, since Eren also forgot what made Survey Corps important and he was just a selfish person. But that doesn't mean Floch was wrong about Erwin as well, because unlike Armin and Hanji, he never once did try to replace himself with Erwin. He never tried to copy him or act like him. He was simply acting in the way that made sense to him. In other words, Floch didn't need to look for reasons to resemble Erwin. He was just genuine with himself. He was not a liar and not believing in false hopes. And that's what sets him apart from Armin and Hanji. In the end, he saw something in Eren, the same devil energy he once saw in Erwin, and he simply followed him. So the story clearly tells us that not a single character could replace Erwin, but Floch was the closest one to understand Erwin, and what made people follow him. Because a good leader is meant to lead, not to boast about justice and accomplish absolutely nothing. I'm looking at huge Saber fans and Alliance fans. A true leader makes a choice. He leads his nation. Everyone can talk about justice, morals, but not every leader can make a crucial choice. That's why Eren and Erwin are meant to lead, and people like Floch realize that they follow someone who can lead them. The proof of that is Paradis 4 years after Erwin's death. We have a nation that is on the brink of being destroyed by other nations, and the government has done nothing to prepare for this moment. The only person who has done anything is captured. Being a normal citizen of Paradis, you would end up questioning the government, who was visibly getting weaker and unsure what needs to be done next. People cannot wait, action has to be made now. That's what Erwin would do, and that's why we have Floch and the Jaegers. Some of them are undeniably bad people, some of them just don't want to die and their families. They are doing what Erwin would do here, and they are just simply protecting their nation. I think part of the appeal of Attack on Titan is that normal people or non-main characters do not matter. And what I mean by that is that people aren't special, well, they die. They are nothing else but cannon fodder in the story. And I think Floch is an attempt to show the feelings of these people, that not everyone shares the same fantasy as the audience does to be part of the main story. Floch is missing the usual protagonist nature because Floch isn't meant to be someone special. He doesn't belong to any bloodline, he doesn't belong to any special family. He's not even in the main cast. He's just a nobody, and that's exactly what makes him a brilliantly written character. because he balances the story's idealism with hard realism. And that's why he is so important to the story, because even a meat shield has feelings and desires. He may be not strong or important, but he doesn't have to be. He's meant to criticize the main characters for their selfishness, which ironically does make him a slight hypocrite, because he idealized Erwin, not knowing that Erwin was also the same special person with naive idealism. But regardless of this hypocrisy, he chose to follow Erwin because he needed a devil, someone who would make a sacrifice, and what was incredible to Floch is though that Erwin was right there, charging to his own death with everyone else. You wouldn't see Mikasa being the chosen one right there, because instead she was selfish and only cared about Armin in that scenario. To Floch it's ridiculous to die for such reasons, just because Mikasa and other special characters got away with a selfish choice, like bringing Armin back. It's insulting to him, and that's why he would follow Erwin again if he needed to, because he saw a devil that gave meaning to death, and showed him that people need devils to lead them. And that's exactly why he never tried to replace Erwin. He was just an honest man doing what has to be done. And in fiction, this decision to write characters like Floch is risky because when Floch is not someone important, then we as the audience shouldn't care about him because he's not a hero, right? So in this scenario, it would be hard to tell what exactly makes him well written, because Floch has no secret past, no special ability, strengths or weapons, no privilege of any importance at all. And that's the point, because Attack on Titan shows that there is two ways to show meaning in death. The first one, and the major one, is the symbolism known as the beauty, and in Attack on Titan the chosen people like Mikasa keep bragging about how the world is cruel but yet beautiful, and each character gives beauty with their cruel actions. And that begs the question, is this concept just merely fabricated? Because to someone like Floch, his concept is that there is no beauty in cruelty. He's not just being skeptical of the themes of the story, but instead, he's challenging the entire philosophy of the story. Because what beauty is there for someone to die and be forgotten? There is nothing beautiful about that. Most characters would wish to be special even for a moment, but not Floch, because it's nothing more than childish idealism. He was forced to obey orders and go into his own death, but at the same time he found reason to live, to prevent such a thing from happening again, so no more of his comrades would die in front of his eyes again. That's why there's no beauty for Floch in this messed up world. That's why he opposes the philosophy of the story, because he's not special, and he doesn't have to be one to show the truth. Unlike other characters, Floch is not afraid of death. In fact, he does not concern himself with emotions. And that's because the morals and the messages that this story tries to convey, that we should care about our oppressors' lives, who try to rob us of our freedom. Sounds like bullshit, right? And that's why Floch is in the story. Floch may have a desire which might be unfulfillable, but it's never idealistic. Floch understands that deep down human nature wishes that it was us who were special, that it were us who would be heroes. But it's as important to embrace that sometimes your role isn't meant to be like that. But still, he makes a choice. To oppose that, he opposes Alliance, because they are trying to be something they shouldn't be, heroes. He knows that he's in great danger and in almost guaranteed failure, but he chooses to remember that there is still someone out there to remember the dead, that his life must give meaning to those lives, because all the people that died were also not special just like him. But to him, these lives are inside of him, the hearts of the people that died with him that day. And most importantly, that day, a part of him died as well. That coward did indeed die, but in his place a new soldier was born, someone who was meant to carry the burdens of the dead and remind our heroes that their costs weren't beautiful nor heroic, just purely selfish. And he will fight to the very end for it. And that's where we as the audience see his growth and its climax. He was able to be true to himself to the very end. It doesn't matter if he was right or wrong. What matters is that he never lied to himself. There are millions of stories since the beginning of mankind, with characters being showcased as extraordinary heroes, saving the world. And whilst these stories were meant to serve as inspirational, it creates a problem that connection between them and the audience is near impossible. and it becomes a fantasy. And I think that's the objective of the story. Flock doesn't connect to us by speaking some fantasy about who we as the audience wish we were or could be, but to who and what we actually are, and what is actually possible to find in our own meaning of existence. Because the truth is, humanity isn't just defined by heroism or being special, but it's also important how we decide to try and give meaning to our own existence. I won't lie, at first I thought that Flock is just a mediocre character, but upon making this video I came to the conclusion that Flock Foster is a brilliantly executed character.